Hey guys, LevelCap here, and welcome to This Week in Gaming, your weekly news recap on everything going on in the world of video games. Today, we are able to finally cut through some of NVIDIA's marketing and get some real data on their new GPUs. We have a report on PlayStation's baffling decisions. We are saying goodbye to a legendary industry veteran, and much more. Reviews of NVIDIA's new $2,000 GPU, the RTX 5090, are here, and it's positive. NVIDIA's marketing for this generation massively hyped up their AI upscaling and frame generation features, which led to tons of concern from gamers about the real-world performance and visual quality. Thankfully, most of those concerns have been laid to rest by the new GPU's 20 to 30% average performance uplift compared to the previous generation RTX 4090. That performance bump, however, comes with a power premium. The 5090 sucks power like a heater, drawing more than a 500-watt average under a normal gaming condition. As for those fake frame AI features, DLSS 4 and frame generation seem like very big improvements to the already good tools that NVIDIA have developed, but we still have to wait to see if Reflex 2 lives up to the hype and delivers unreal latency values like 2 milliseconds in select games. Now, at $2,000, it's unlikely most gamers will be rushing out to pick up this specific GPU. That said, early reports also indicate that the cheaper versions of this new generation of GPUs will also be absolutely bananas for creative and productivity workloads. Synthetic benchmarks and applications like Blender or Adobe Premiere Pro see the 5090 pulling ahead of the entire GPU market. NVIDIA also made some big improvements with their video encoder chip, so you can expect even better gameplay capture performance in video render speeds. If you use the GPU for work, it's hard to argue against the 5090 in these sorts of tasks. I'm personally very excited for the workflow side of things as well. NVIDIA has really come out swinging with their god-tier GPU this year, and I think gamers can expect some more affordable and good performing options with the 5070 later this quarter. Doom: The Dark Ages is making some big changes to the Doom formula. This third addition to the modern Doom game family is launching on May 15th and will require a ray tracing capable GPU. It's also foregoing any sort of online multiplayer experience to deliver the franchise's biggest and best Doom game id Software has ever made, according to them. They're also reworking the combat system from the run and gun or ballet of mayhem the previous two games are known for. On the Dark Ages, the emphasis is more on power than speed. The new saw shield can be thrown, used to block, and also parry using a single contextual button. There's also a new melee system with 3 different weapons that help you combo your parries in devastating counterattacks. They've gotten rid of the locked-in glory kill animations, letting you instead execute them with complete freedom of movement so that you can keep your kill combo going without control being taken away. It'd look like they're firing on all cylinders with this game to bring another mechanically unique but still kill-driven power fantasy to life. Just make sure your GPU can ray trace so you meet those minimum specs. PlayStation at least attempted to quietly region lock Horizon Forbidden West. It's been entirely delisted from Steam in dozens of unsupported regions 10 months after launching on the platform. They've also done this for other games recently, like Helldivers 2. While Sony requires the game on PlayStation Network to be region locked based on your account's location, Horizon Forbidden West isn't a PSN title, and Helldivers 2 was region locked after launched as well. Ironically, Helldivers 2 had recently been relisted in some of the countries it was locked out of following Sony's decision to reverse the mandatory PSN account requirement on PC following the player outrage. And while I can understand not wanting to support a product in a country that might have aggressive laws governing it or taxation rules or what have you, you would want to make that decision prior to launching the game rather than retroactively going back and unsupporting it. Continuing along these same PlayStation themes, Bloodborne is finally on PC thanks to modders and emulator developers. The latest release of the Shad PS4 emulator has made the iconic but exclusive H.P. Lovecraft-inspired nightmare playable from start to finish almost entirely bug-free. On top of that, the emulator can also run the game at 60 FPS and at 1080 on decently spec'd PCs. The reason why this is a big deal is Bloodborne is very well known for not getting any sort of current gen improvements or upgrades like many other PlayStation titles, so it's locked to 1080p at 30 FPS with frequent frame stutters and other performance issues, even on the PlayStation 5. Fans of the game have been begging for a next-gen compatibility update. They've taken things as far as creating software mods for the console version of the game that uncap the frame rate and even fix some of its performance issues. But PlayStation haven't budged on doing a remaster or update. And with the SHAD PS4 emulator working so well this early in its development, it's questionable if an official remaster is even necessary for PC gamers. Early reviews of Assassin's Creed Shadows are looking pretty positive. The game garnered a mixed reaction with its reveal due to some creative liberties with Japanese history and culture. Naturally, social media went wild with the story, so it was hard to get a proper gauge on just how upset or excited people actually were. But most of the early reviews seem to be positive, praising the game's graphics, gameplay, and even its depiction of ancient Japan. The game borrows a lot from the previous entries in the franchise, with dual playable characters that have their own narrative beats, a massive open world, and the usual batch of funny but immersion-breaking bugs like NPCs not reacting to the player at all. It looks like Ubisoft might be about to deliver another solid entry in the franchise, at least based off of the prologue gameplay test. That said, will this game help stem the bleed that Ubisoft has been going through over the years? They're currently facing some hard financial times with talks of takeovers thanks to a string of commercial failures such as Skull and Bones and X Defiant. Assassin's Creed Shadows launches on March 20th. Steam Charts data has revealed the ongoing playtest for Dune Awakening has nearly 3,000 players. The upcoming survival MMO set in the Dune universe is kind of a big question mark right now. The developer isn't exactly known for making groundbreaking and hardcore survival games, but Awakening is being marketed as a brutal survival experience where even your basic needs like hydration are a critical resource. Steam discussion forums are rarely an accurate representation of how good or bad a game could be, but several posts complain about the endgame feeling lazy and forcing PvP on players when it maybe shouldn't. The game is expected to launch sometime this year. Extraction shooter Grey Zone Warfare's developers opened up about their reasoning for launching the game well before it was ready, even by early access standards. They said in a recent blog post about upcoming content that they were facing serious financial hardships in the beginning of 2024 and basically couldn't afford to operate much longer without earning income for the game. And while it certainly worked out on the financial side, racking up 1.5 million units sold, players didn't really have much to do in the early access gameplay, and so many of them have left. But recent updates and future plans for the game seem to be generating renewed interest in Grey Zone. The nighttime content update that they launched at the end of last year helped boost player counts up. The concurrent player count has been steadily declining since, but it still hasn't hit its pre-update lows. Two major updates are on the way this year for the game, including a dynamic weather system, extended PvP content, and a more complex story that will hopefully unlock the mysterious central area of the map that's been unexplorable since launch. The devs are announcing details about these updates in the coming weeks. Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2's developers have declined to comment in response to allegations that billionaire Elon Musk has cheated in their respective games. Musk recently streamed himself playing Path of Exile 2, and while his rank and inventory represented somebody who would have had to play the game hours and hours every single day to achieve that status, his actual gameplay performance looked like somebody who didn't totally understand the fundamental concepts like utilizing maps and how the game's gear leveling requirements work. Seasoned Path of Exile players pointed out these discrepancies, and further investigation is suggesting that Musk's account has been piloted, aka boosted, by one or even multiple players to essentially hand him the best account currently possible in the game. This type of account boosting is specifically called out as a bannable offense by both Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2's terms of service. That said, I can totally understand why neither of these companies would want to have to weigh in on this decision, as it is a political minefield. Our final story this week is a bit bittersweet for us aging gamers. Longtime industry veteran and co-founder of Insomniac Games, Ted Price, announced his retirement this week. Price has been lauded as one of the best industry folks to work with due to his positive attitude and clear eye for worthwhile projects. The The massive leak of Insomniac's internal documents revealed Price is a major advocate for employees both creatively and those affected by layoffs caused by Sony's demanding budget cuts to reel in development costs. Former and current co-workers also took to social media to show their appreciation for his positivity following his announcement. Under Price's leadership, Insomniac has basically released a string of mega hits, starting with 1998's Spyro the Dragon. The studio later released Ratchet & Clank, Resistance: Fall of Man, and Marvel's Spider-Man, which all turned into massive franchises that define their respective console eras. Price will be inducted into the Academy of Interactive Arts and Science Hall of Fame later this year. They host the annual DICE Awards, which is one of the gaming industry's most prestigious titles. And that wraps it up for this week in gaming. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop me a like, subscribe for more content like it, and ding that notification bell to beat the YouTube algorithm with me. Up next, check out my in-depth Arma Reforger guide. It'll help you get into the game, and also if you've been playing for a while, it might explain some of the concepts that flew over your head. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.